because we can.
Hey, Billy Lowe here. Today I thought I'd talk about, just spend a couple minutes explaining the hidden oil galley plug. We're going to go over the oil galley plugs real quick. There's a hidden one that I'm going to show you that you have to pop out when you send a block out to be serviced. Machine shop will knock it out and they'll replace it. But one thing is the hidden oil galley plug is a push plug that's in there. And let me set up and I can show you where it is on the engine block. Okay, I'm going to set this up. There's a passage on the engine block. Here's the rear main, and right in here is the feed for the oil pump. The oil pump feeds oil through here. If I take my rod and I push it in here, I've already popped out the plug, by the way. If I take my rod, you'll notice it comes out in the back. And let me just show you this. In the back of the engine, actually the top of the engine, where you screw in the oil sending unit, or you attach your oil sending feed to your oil gauge, oil pressure gauge. That plug sits down a couple inches inside. It's very easy to knock out. It knocks out this way. It doesn't knock out through the bottom or through the top. You have to put it in and just give it a little tap. They pop right out. And I'm going to show you the oil galley plug and a 1/4-inch pipe plug right here. The oil galley plug is just a push plug. And let me explain why you have it in there very quickly. It's in there for really one reason. It's your oil filter. Oil is pumped in through here. There's a passage to your oil filter, goes through the oil filter, and then it's pumped back, and there's a passage. And let me just show you that. Let me find this. There's a passage. I have the plug pulled out on the back. And there's a passage that feeds back into your main oil galleys to oil your lifters, your mains, and everything. And that's after it goes through the oil filter. Without that plug, you get erratic oil pressure or no oil pressure at all. This plug sits between the two passages. You have a passage up here where my finger is that comes into the oil filter, goes through the oil filter, and right in here you have a passage that goes back into the engine. The plug sits between those two passages in this connector, you know, in here. So what you want to do when you get ready to put your engine together is to replace this push plug, or put the push plug back in so that you have good oil pressure. You may not have any oil pressure at all if you don't have this plug in there. It's very important, it's very critical. And then I heard, hey, you can replace that push plug with a pipe plug, 1/4-inch pipe plug. And I'm going, let me look at it. So what I did was, here's a 1/4-inch pipe tap. I said, I wonder if I can tap that out, because there's some people say you can. So let me try it out. So what I did was I took my 1/4-inch pipe tap, put it in there, and I just very, very carefully tapped it in. I just used the wrench and I tapped it down. And now all I need to do is I take this driver and it screws right in, tightens right up. And when I go to assemble this engine, I'm going to put it in there with Loctite, you know, some thread lock, red thread lock. But for now, it's just a demonstration. So it screws in, and I'll take it out now, because you don't want it in there when they hot tank the engine. So when I'm ready to assemble it, boom, I'll just put a pipe plug in there. The critical thing is you want that pipe plug to live between this passage here and the passage that's inside of here. There's a space of about maybe an inch in there, and you want that plug to live there. So what I did was I took the tap, and if you notice, I don't know if we can see it here, the tap without screwing it in is like this. After you tap it, I tapped it the thickness of this plug. And I tested it as I tapped it. You want the top of the plug below this passage and above that passage. You go too deep, you're going to block this passage. You get no oil pressure at all if you were to block that passage. And you want it to live right in the middle between the two. So you got to be a little careful when you tap it. You can go too far. So that's it. You just need to, all you need for tools is your pipe tap, and you can have a much better system. I think it's far more reliable than a push plug, and that's why I did it. So let's try this out with if you're building a small block Chevy, go ahead and try it out.